Got a package from UPS today. A couple of tires. And they go on my little Festiva. At least this one right here. It's got some bad spots on it. And I've been driving this thing back and forth to work every day and not getting much over 50-55 miles an hour because it starts shaking pretty bad. And I'm going to jack it up and show the bad spots I got on that tire. Here are the bad spots on the tire. 1, 2, 3. There might be more. They're just flat spots which have a hump next to them. I don't know what happened to them. I guess maybe I hit a bad bump somewhere and it damaged the cords on the inside and they shifted. Anyway, let's see if we can get a close-up on that and just move this tire slowly. Let's see those bumps. I think that's showing up there. Well, that spinning around real fast is what's causing this thing to shake and bounce around. So I'm going to change these tires. Now this brake is a little bit stiff and it's got some tight spots. Like right here it's a little tight. And then right here it's free. So the drum is not completely round. It needs... They don't really turn drums hardly anymore. It's hard to find a place to do that. You almost have to replace them these days. I'm not going to worry about it because of what the car is. It's my little junk car that I run back and forth to work in. And I carry things back and forth to the parts store and whatnot in the back here. So I'm not worried about the brakes being perfect as long as it stops good. But I am going to loosen the brake up so that it's free. It's been self-adjusting, obviously pretty good because it feels about where it should be. But I'm going to loosen it up so we can balance the tire when I'm done. So let's go ahead and get the tire off, or the wheel off, and then we'll pop the tire off the rim. Got the wheel off and got the brake freed up on this car. It's kind of weird. You don't really free up the brake with the star wheel. It's like just loosen up the emergency brake cable there and it frees it up. But when I spin this, I get a little bit of a singing out of the bearing, so I'm going to wind up greasing the bearing before I put it back together. But we had to free this up so we can balance it. Now this is not a computer spin balance. It's not perfect, but it'll save a tire. And if you throw a weight, you can balance a tire this way, but first you have to free up the brake. You cannot have any brake resistance or bearing resistance. It's got to be free, and you'll see why when we get to that point. First I'm going to change the tire. Naturally, it's just a valve core tool for getting it out. You can get this at any well, farm supply store. It's the handiest place for me to get it. If you don't want to go to a tire supply, Walmart probably has them too. I'm pretty sure they do. But I'm going to use this handy little Harbor Freight bead breaker. I guess I better get a little more of that in the camera, sorry. $50 at Harbor Freight. Here where I live, I don't know if their prices are the same all around the country or not. For those of you that live other countries where they don't have Harbor Freight, I don't know what to say. You can find a tool like this somewhere. Go online and look for a bead breaker. tool. Couple of tire irons. I got these at Harbor Freight too. They're about 2 feet long for car tires. Now the tire lube I get from a tire supply, but you can just use soap. That's what they use for the tire man on my job uses. Check the valve too. No signs of any leaks there. I'm not going to check the tread because it's a brand new tire. Ready to put it on and balance it. The tire is a little bit out of balance. I'm going to tell you where I learned this trick. A long time ago, about 40 years ago almost, my first mechanic job, the old man that ran the shop, it was a gas station, and he was an old tire man. And his grandson was the head mechanic there. His older grandson, he had some younger ones. That was where I served a good part of my apprenticeship back in the around 1979, 1980, long in there. 81, I don't remember exactly, but it was in that neighborhood. Had to be, I was out of mechanic school already. Had to be 1980, I think, because I went to mechanic school in 79 and 80. Anyway, the first tire he did this on checked out balanced, and I thought, well, I didn't think that would work. And well, the next time we did a tire, a few days later, the tire was out of balance, and I saw the difference. When that sucker took off and went down, then I saw, well, there is something to that. Anyway, where the valve stem is seems to be my heavy side of the tire, because when I pull the tire up here, it just wants to fall back down. Now, it's not falling fast. It takes a little bit of help. If I help it upwards, it won't go. If I help it downwards, it goes. Go on this side. Help it go back past it. It's not going. This way it is. So I'm just going to use the valve stem as my indicator for where the heavy side is. And I'm just giving it a quick tap. Just give it a little light brush and see if it keeps moving that direction or if it almost stops. And now we're going to go back the other way. It should stop pretty quick, and it is. Now I'm going to brush it this way, and it'll probably keep going. I'm convinced that this is pretty well centered on the bottom of the valve stem. Now if we go up here with it, we can't get it to run with the valve stem going uphill. It just don't want to go that way. But it wants to go that way. And the same thing on this side. You can believe it if you want, but this is the heavy side. And if you don't want to believe it, take it to a tire shop and get a spin balance done. It's a better balance. I'm putting the original weight back on, but I don't know if it's in the original place. I'm not going to put it on real tight because I want to see how it does. I brought a couple extra weights out. We're still heavy on that side. So I'm going to stick one on the back side, another small weight. Not hammered on tight, so it's easy to get it back off. I think we're still heavy on that side, but not by much. Yeah, it's still a little bit heavy. So I'm probably going to take, this might be too much. Just add this little guy here next to it and see what that does. Well, we're still slightly heavy. It might take this one. I think we're still just a hair heavy on that side. I'm going to add this little tiny guy next to this one back here. I'm debating on whether I should leave that little tiny one in the back or not, because it might be slightly too much. But anyway, it'll certainly ride like that. Well, it's a lot more balanced than it was. Okay, that'll be it for balancing that tire at home. Like I said, it's not near as good as a computer spin balance, but hey, it's safe to drive it like that. You'll never feel it shaking or anything. And it's good for your trailer or anything like that that you want to do that on, but you cannot do it on a drive wheel. If it's on a drive wheel, you got to take it off that hub and put it on a free spinning wheel like this one and free up the brakes. Okay, thanks for watching.